And now to your local election headquarters. Today, the organizers of St. George and Baton Rouge Mayor President Sharon Weston Broome were back in court, all to battle it out over the incorporation of St. George. Fox 44's Rachel Riley brings us the latest.
Well, there were a lot of starts, stops, and objections in court today regarding the incorporation of St. George. The court arrived at a few stalemates, but nonetheless, arguments rolled out from both parties. We heard from Russell Starnes, one of the men who fought for the city of Central to become its own city. Attorneys for St. George say they plan to model the city after Central. They argued that if Central could make it work, so could they. Like Central, they would have access to continued services of the parish, from things like sewage to public safety and garbage. They also would privatize some of their other services to keep costs down. The St. George incorporators say Central is thriving with a surplus of money and a good school system. However, on the mayor's side, attorneys argued that comparing Central to St. George is like comparing apples to oranges, since the city is so small. They also argue that Central's petition did not have much of a plan written on it either. They say St. George's incorporation would be devastating, and the need for the services is much greater for the larger proposed city. They say the city parish would lose about $48 million in comparison to Central, which was significantly less. Although we expected a ruling today, this week-long case will now pour into next week, starting back at 1 o'clock on Monday. From the 19th Judicial District Court, Rachel Riley, Fox 44 News.
And Congressman Steve Scalise